I remember when my wife and I were getting ready to have our daughter Aaliyah. My biggest concern was I going to be a good father? I had experienced my father in and out of my life as a child, and all of the trauma I experienced, and I was like, ugh, I wonder if I can be a good father. And so when we had our daughter, my wife stayed at home a couple months, and it was time for her to go back to work. So I had decided that in order to combat this idea of being like my dad, that I was going to be the greatest father ever, the best father ever, so that I wouldn't end up being like my dad. And so my wife said, well, I got to go back to work. What we're going to do? We didn't know who to trust. And so I decided I'm going to stay at home during the day and I'll work at night. And I'll keep my daughter. Don't worry about it. So the first couple of months, it was okay. And I was making it. But that third and that fourth month, I was so exhausted. I was so tired that I just couldn't be present with her. I was there physically, but I mean, I couldn't play with her. I couldn't engage with her because I was exhausted. And so I knew that I'd hit my breaking point where I put the car seat on the couch, put my daughter in the car seat, went to go get something, and all I heard was a thump, boom. Like, oh, Lord. I walk in there, she's on the floor crying. I have put her in the car seat, but I had not strapped the car seat in, or strapped her in the car seat. And so I was like, I called my wife, I picked her up, and she was okay. I called my wife, I'm like, babe, we gotta find a daycare because I can't do this. I'm exhausted. And she said, I already knew, babe. I already got one lined up. I'm like, thank you. Here's the problem. I was trying so hard to compare myself to my dad, to not be like him, that in a way I did become like him because I was there physically, but I was not there emotionally. And so I had literally taken this time to try to compare. And this is important because sometimes as men, we compare ourselves to other men, whether that is comparing, trying to be like, or trying to not be like. And here's what I learned. Comparison is really the thief of joy, right? Because comparison never allows you to celebrate the things you've done. It never allows you to feel like you've done enough, or that you are enough, or that you put in enough. And it always makes you want more. And that's why it's so important as men that we don't compare ourselves to other men, to other fathers, to other people. Because if you do, you'll never feel like you can be enough. You'll never feel satisfied. You'll always feel inferior. And when we begin to feel that not enough, inferior, what most of us do is we shut down. We get lost in this space of in our minds, in our heads. We become our worst critics. We are beating ourselves up. And then most of us disconnect anyway. We disconnect from the thing that we were trying to do, whether it's being a good spouse, whether it's being a father or a leader, or community leader, or worker, whatever it is from your job. You'll disconnect when you're comparing yourself to someone else. Listen, I want you to take some time. Whenever you have that negative critic in your head that's telling you you're not this, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not skilled enough, you're not that, I want you to this week just pull your phone out. If you have to, write it down. I want you to combat every negative thought with something positive. And so when you think you're not good enough, I want you to write down, I am good enough. When you think, man, you're not strong enough, I want you to write down, I'm strong enough. When you don't think you're skilled enough, you say, nah, I got enough experience. That every single time you think of something negative this week, I want you to write down something positive, right? Because you have to learn, as we talked about last week, to create new pathways neurologically in your brain. You can't just say, I'm gonna stop being negative. No, you have to fight that by being positive. That you got to fight it with something good. You're not a good father. I am a good father, and I'm striving to be better. You're not a good husband. I am a good, and I'm working to be better. You're not a good this. No, I am, and I'm working on being better. I believe that you are enough. You're good enough. You got this. If you stop comparing yourself to everybody, you can stop and not be the best, but be the best you can be. And that's all your family and anyone else is asking of you. So I want you to know I'm praying for you this week. I want you to know that you got this, you can do this. And as I've been sharing with you, these are things I learned from the book that I wrote, Some Things That We're Fighting For. I want you to make sure that this week that you're fighting for yourself, because you are good enough. God bless you.